My point is, it's the libs who are stupid. Do you know why they're stupid? Because their philosophy is stupid and dangerous. And if we don't stop them, they'll destroy this country. And I'm not kidding. And I don't want to play a bunch of clips from last night's debate. If you're a talk radio connoisseur, you've heard enough. There will be one or two that I play because I want to make a point. But before I do that, they voted on this bailout. President signed it. Yip-de-doo. Let me tell you what this comes down to. Homeowners want protection from their own bad judgment. Investors want protection from market forces. The old want free medicine. The young want free schooling. The unemployment want jobs and money. The rich want politicians in their pockets. The poor are never satisfied. Investors, homeowners, pensioners. Is there anyone left in the world who isn't trying to get something for nothing? And the government obliges them. I didn't come up with that. I think it's a brilliant point, succinctly put, in the Nation newspaper of Barbados. And it's true. And do you know what happens when all of that happens? We destroy ourselves. You're starting to get a little taste of it. You're starting just to get a little taste of it. You know what happens if we elect a Marxist to the presidency and the third most liberal senator to the vice presidency, and Nancy Pelosi still running the House by even a bigger margin of liberals, and Harry Reid still running the Senate by even a much bigger margin of liberals there? Do you know what happens? The foundations will start to crack. Maybe not right away. It took Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac 30 years, but they will crack. Took the Community Reinvestment Act 30 years, but it will happen. Because despite what Fred Barnes thinks and some of the rest of them, the free market lives. If you try to smother it, it punishes you. If you embrace it, it rewards you. Now you tell me if we don't live in a soft tyranny today. 1/3 of your fellow Americans do not pay any federal income taxes. 1/3. 2/3 are carrying the entire burden. And of that 2/3, the top 50%, which is about $60,000 and up, is paying 97% of the tax burden for everybody else. Now, he wants to keep redistributing wealth. Just how much more does he want to redistribute? He says, Obama, that 95% of Americans will get a tax break. How can that possibly be when only 2/3 pay? Well, you know how it is? It's called the massive welfare state. What he's saying is the people who don't currently pay income taxes, he's going to take money, more money, from the people who do pay income taxes and give it to the people who don't pay income taxes. Where I come from, that's called welfare. So what he wants to do is massively increase the welfare state, massively redistribute wealth, and a lot of people who aren't millionaires are sitting here saying, oh, I'm all for it, good, give me. You're going to be punished. He's running around the country today, blaming the increase in unemployment on Bush and McCain and the Republicans. Who the hell runs Congress? In our Constitution, tax bills come out of the House of Representatives. Those are Nancy Pelosi's tax bills the last 2 years. Nothing. Not a word about it. Not a word about it. And how do you create jobs, ladies and gentlemen? By destroying the very enterprises that create them? What are we all going to do? Have government work programs where we're sweeping the streets and cutting the lawns and doing artwork for another generation? We don't want to live through another depression and New Deal. Now, here's what's going on. When this so-called crisis wasn't on any of our radars 5-6 months ago, Obama insisted that we're going to hell. Then we have this little crisis, and then he insists we're in hell, and it's everybody else's fault, and if only listened to him, we wouldn't be in this situation. Listen to him when and what? What is he talking about? He was a backbencher state senator and never said anything that made any sense to begin with. Listen to him and do what? Taxes aren't high enough? Spending isn't high enough? Oh, and this government regulation thing. Apparently now, if you question government regulations, you're an anarchist. Apparently now, if you question government regulations, you're an anarchist. The federal government issues 75,000 pages of regulations every single year, one piled on top of another. That's just the federal government, not the state government, the local government. And they tell us that we're deregulating. Really? Deregulating what? What? No deregulation going on in this country. Liberty isn't being advanced in this country. It's quite the contrary. These bums in Washington are spending beyond belief, right under your noses. Everything is a crisis. Everything. Now, I told you a third of your fellow citizens don't pay any taxes. Then they throw out this figure that there's 47 million people without health insurance. That's a lie. Unless you throw in about 9 million illegal immigrants, unless you include people who don't have health insurance for less than a year, in other words, they're moving from plans or moving from jobs. 47 million people aren't without health insurance, chronically so. It's a flat-out lie. And yet they keep it up. Why? Because they want to destroy the healthcare system. That's the next thing to go. I take it they want to turn the healthcare system over to the same people who ran Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae. When are you going to tell them no? Well, here's the problem. We have 1/3 of our fellow citizens who will always tell them yes. And why shouldn't they? They pay for nothing. Well, Mark, they pay sales taxes. Who cares? They don't pay a federal income tax. They literally pay no federal income taxes. And you're being told that that's not good enough. Obama wants to increase the number of your fellow citizens who don't pay federal income taxes. I say this. Every single citizen in this country should pay some federal income taxes so they have a stake in what's going on. If you get to vote, then you ought to pay some taxes. It's unbelievable to me. And people are buying this. Now let's look at the unemployment situation. Do you know that 94 to 95% of the people who want jobs in this country are actually employed? Let's take the lower figure. 94% of the people in this country who want jobs have jobs. So we're supposed to turn the entire economic system on its head, massively increase taxes, destroy the system that's created all this wealth and all this future for our children. For 5% of the people, 6% of the people, some of whom are clearly temporarily out of work because of the business cycle and because of government intervention. So we should destroy our system that employs 94% of the American people who seek jobs? To what end, ladies and gentlemen?